Hey you guys, welcome to today's live broadcast. Today we are going to be talking about fasting and really clearly define what fasting means and how we translate that definition here in this community for today's aging woman, and how I really like to coach women on the concept of fasting and how incorporating intermittent fasting can really help us simplify our lives as we're going through this aging process. So if you're new, welcome. My name is Diane, and for the past 25 years, I have been helping women find nutrition plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. And there is nothing that is any more important than looking and feeling our best and living our most authentic life as we are going through this aging process. So welcome. If you are joining us as a graduate from one of my intermittent fasting for today's aging woman courses, I always ask that you please take a second to make sure that you leave a comment in the comment section, letting other women who are joining us maybe for the first time about your experience in class and what intermittent fasting has been able to do for you as an aging woman today. And at the end of my discussion, I will go through the comment section and make sure I welcome everyone and answer any questions that we have about today's topic. So let's get to it. Fasting. What is fasting? The true definition of fasting is a controlled, voluntary abstinence of food for different reasons. And we know that there are so many different reasons why people fast, and fasting has been around forever. I know it feels like intermittent fasting is some new fad that has just come about in the last couple of years, but trust me when I say that fasting in general has been around forever. People have fasted for spiritual reasons, people have fasted for political reasons, and seems like suddenly people are now introducing fasting into their lifestyle as a way to improve their overall health and well-being. And that is really what we are practicing and teaching here in this community, is fasting for the opportunity to improve our overall health and well-being, and also to reverse some of these pesky signs of aging that we are not happy with. And I want to take a second to just go a little bit deeper and also share with you a definition of what starvation is. Because oftentimes, if you're just maybe stumbled upon fasting, or you hear the word fasting and you don't know anything about it, or maybe you haven't experienced the magic of it for yourself, we think of fasting as a way of, in a sense, starving our body. So let me read for you what the definition of starving is. So starvation is a severe deficiency in caloric energy intake below the level needed to maintain an organism's life. It is the most extreme form of malnutrition. So fasting is when we are in a controlled and voluntary situation of denying food to our body for a specific reason. And starvation is really the inability to nourish your body. So the lack of nutrients or available nutrients or food to sustain your life. And I want to make sure that we're really clear on that. And then I also want to just touch a little bit on what a lot of us women have gone through and the mindset and little games that have been played on us emotionally and mentally as we have been growing from, adolescence into adult womanhood. And the fact of we have been really instilled upon this fear of not putting our body into starvation mode. And the fact that we have been trained, and a little bit of brainwashing has gone on, for us to believe that we need to feed our body every couple of hours to avoid putting it in starvation mode. And so when you understand what the true definition of starvation is, if you're feeding your body every couple of hours, there's no possible way you could ever put it in starvation mode, because you're not denying your body nutrients. You are in fact creating a feasting situation every couple of hours. And that situation, or that belief system that we had to try to avoid starvation mode, has really put us in a place where we are now becoming very sick. And let me talk about how fasting can really help reverse some of those things that we've done in the past and some of the belief systems that we've had in the past about feeding ourselves, and how we can undo a lot of that damage by just reconsidering what the definition of fasting is and how that can really help us. So we have really an amazing body, and our body has been designed to thrive in a fasting type of environment. That's how so many centuries of human beings have really survived from famine type of situations, and how we can tap into our body's instinctual ability to feast off of its own food storage. So for a lot of women who have been, had that mindset or been a little bit brainwashed, myself included, into believing that if we don't eat every couple of hours, we're putting our body into starvation mode, we have really created an opportunity to have very full storage tanks, or what I like to call food pantries, living within our body's own chemistry system. So we have been overloading our own storage system, and eating every couple of hours has not allowed our body the opportunity to tap into that storage and burn it away efficiently. This is where a lot of us women at this stage in our life have really become so ingrained in that fear of fasting, right? We know we have to eat every couple of hours, because if we don't now, it just doesn't feel good for us. We get those feelings of hypoglycemia, or we know what it feels like to have the shakes if we don't get that every 2-hour fix. And so we are afraid to put our body into a fasted state. So we're denying our body the opportunity to tap into those food storages. And that really is what fasting is. We know that there are a lot of benefits to fasting, and if you're new to fasting, I'm just going to read a couple of them off to you. We know that fasting is really beneficial for weight loss, and I'm going to explain to you why that is. We know that fasting is also an amazing opportunity to make our bodies more insulin sensitive. So if you're insulin resistant, you really want to make sure that your body becomes more insulin sensitive. We know that fasting creates an environment for our body where we can reverse type 2 diabetes, we can decrease the risk of heart disease, we can decrease the risk of cancer, we can decrease the risk of liver disease. All the things that have become burdensome to our body because we're eating all the time can all be reversed by creating that fasting environment for our body, that place that our body has instinctively been designed to thrive in. And we have been denying that opportunity for so many years. So let me explain to you how weight loss happens with a fasting environment in your body. So weight loss isn't necessarily happening because we are denying food. Weight loss is happening in a fasted state because we are creating an opportunity for our bodies to tap in to our own food storage system. So remember, we are designed to live and thrive in a fasted state because food is so plentiful, right? So in a time of fast or famine, when you're in a state where you have plenty of food available to you and your body can take in that food and store it away, if you're ever in a situation where food is not available to you, the way your body avoids starvation is by tapping into those nutrients and those calories it is stored away. So if you're constantly eating and you're not creating a fasting environment, you just keep adding to those storage containers. You just keep adding into that body that's backing up and has no opportunity to feed off of itself. This is how fasting creates an amazing opportunity, especially for us women who are aging, to start experiencing weight loss again, if that has stalled for you. And also an opportunity for our bodies to start tapping into fat as its primary source of energy. You're forcing your body to become a fat burner when you are in a fasted state. This is all somewhat irregardless of what you're doing in your feasting window. What we want to make sure that we're doing is we're creating that fasting environment that forces our body to go in and do what it's designed to do, and that is tap into the food storage that has been accumulating over years and years of having food so readily available, or years and years of us believing that if we didn't feed our body every couple of hours, we would put it into starvation mode. We know now through all the scientific data and just practical everyday experience from a lot of the women here in this community that if you fast, you can put your body back into an environment where it can start losing weight again. Here's where a lot of women are really getting tripped up with the concept of incorporating fasting into their lifestyle. There are so many misconceptions about how certain people are supposed to fast, and everyone has their own take on it. But I want to talk to you about what fasting is for this community of women and why the way we teach fasting has been so beneficial to so many women. When we are in this state where our storage containers, our food storage containers, or our pantries, as I like to call them, are so overstuffed that if we don't create a fasting environment that is long enough over time with consistency, we do not allow our bodies to get to its most prime state of taking care of itself, and that is in that fasted state. Oftentimes we get so frustrated that it's not having fast enough, or we're not able to do what other people are doing, that we get frustrated and we give up. I want you to understand that a clean fast for a lot of us women, especially those of us who are stalled in that weight loss situation, or stalled in that ability for us to tap into our own fat stores as energy, we have to put ourselves in a position where we allow our body to feast off of its own pantry. We have to allow our body the opportunity to get into a fasting state. Most often we sell ourselves just short of that opportunity because for a lot of us it's uncomfortable and it's new and it feels scary. But I can tell you that there's nothing scarier than becoming diabetic, and there's nothing scarier than those creepy signs and signals of Alzheimer's setting in, and there's nothing scarier than watching your body start to fall apart just when you're at that stage of life where you actually get to start living the life the way you want to live it on your own terms. And for a lot of us, that is that mid-life time frame. So I want you to reconsider what fasting might mean for you and what fasting could do for you if you just understood the chemistry that goes on in your body when you are in a fasted state. So we want to make sure that we understand that fasting is clean fasting for enough hours in your day to allow your body to burn through all of the things that you have packed away in your pantry or packed away in your body's chemistry and storage tanks, so that you can start utilizing the fat that you have in your body as its primary source of energy. I know for me, it took months to burn through all of the things that I had packed away for years, believing that if I didn't eat every 2 hours, I was going to starve my body. It took me several months to get my body into the state of actually being able to lose weight and burn off body fat and switch my body from being a primarily sugar burner to an efficient fat burner, because I had built up so much storage, right? And so I had to do this over time and consistency and for long enough hours in the day to actually dip into my reserves and give my body the ample time it needed to burn away what I had stored up. Fasting is an opportunity for your body to heal itself. Fasting is the opportunity for your body to reset itself, and fasting is that opportunity where you can actually create some chemical changes that will work on your behalf, instead of being those chemical changes that are working as that sort of enemy type of feeling as we start going through this aging process. So, what is fasting? Fasting is the opportunity for you as an aging woman to reverse the signs of aging, deplete off all those things that we have packed away in storage all of these years, and really have the opportunity to let your body rest, because you're not giving it new work to do, and you're allowing your body the opportunity to heal and undo some of that damage that we have done over the years because we have been misled about how to feed our body. I hope this clears up what fasting is. What we really like to teach here in this community is that you can get all the benefits of fasting through what we teach, and that is intermittent fasting. That is taking your 24-hour window and breaking it up into 2 events. One of that is a fasting event and the other is a feasting event. And all you have to do is ask yourself two very simple questions every day. How long will I fast today? Meaning, how long will you have in a fasted state to create an opportunity for your body to tap into those storage tanks? And how well will you feast? Meaning, when you put nutrition into your body, will you choose the right nutrition and will you choose the right food choices that will supplement what you're doing in a fasted state? I love all the new members that we have in our community. I know there's always so much confusion about fasting and what you're allowed to do in fasting and what you're not allowed to do in fasting. And the bottom line for me in this community, and what I really like to teach women who are feeling so stuck and feeling like they're losing all control about what their body is doing as they start to go through this aging process, is when in doubt, fast it out. And if you have any questions about what you're supposed to do in your fasting window, always defer to the clean fast so that you can have the opportunity to do the most good while you're in a fasted state. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor for discussion from our community. I would love to answer any questions or comments you have, and welcome everyone who joined us live today. If you're catching this on the rebroadcast, I always ask that you come back around and leave comments and questions as well. I always like to make sure that I go back and answer your questions as well. And if you haven't done so yet, please take a second to hit that subscribe button so you will be notified when we go live and pick up another discussion about intermittent fasting and today's aging woman. We always have new content that we're discussing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's see who we have here today with us live. Sandy, welcome. Trini, hello. Tamara, graduate of September 2019. Sandy, does it take a few minutes? Not sure I have arrived to the beginning. Sandy, yes, sometimes it takes a couple minutes for your video to buffer, so hopefully you're catching it now. Amy, hello. Danny, October 2018 grad and new to the mindset course. Super excited to continue my education with you. Yeah, there's a lot of information that we need to take in. But what I always really try to encourage women to do is experiment, right? We could research all day. We can listen to this person's advice over here and this person's advice over here and this person's advice over here. And we tend to get caught up in that information overload. So the best advice I can give women, especially if you're starting with fasting, is just fast. Fast for, a 12 to 16 hour window to begin with, and then start building incrementally on that time so that you can build up enough of a fasting opportunity for your body to undo some of that storage that we talked about here in this video today. So make sure you're implementing the information that you're taking in as well, and that's how you'll prove to yourself that this really will work for you for sure. And then Cassia, hello from Phoenix. Changing lifestyle, what can we eat for anemia? Anemia is one of those things you want to make sure you get your iron intake up. So I would definitely discuss some options with your doctor for sure if you haven't already done so. I'm sure that's how you found out you were anemic. And then just do a little Google search on some iron-rich foods and maybe get a supplementation maybe that you can get prescribed from your doctor as well. So iron is the thing you want to get for that. And then Teresa, the classes are great and so informative. I've learned so much. September 2018 grad. She's just down the road from us in Texas. Teresa, it's always good to have you. Linda, May 2019 grad. Love iron for women that are nervous about the word fasting to take the course to learn how it really means and how it can really help improve one's health and lifestyle. Yeah, for sure. And what we are finding here in this community too is fasting and incorporating this lifestyle on a daily basis does just simplify our lives. We have oftentimes just a different lifestyle than we did 10, 20, 30 years ago, and incorporating fasting has really allowed us an opportunity to thrive in what I call an empty state, and that really has been very freeing for a lot of us as well. We're all super busy. Who wants to be bogged down with having to eat all the time? And so what we've really found is that when you can really craft out a good fasting window for yourself and you can experience what we call the energized sense of calm, and that's where you have so much internal energy to fuel you through the day, a very good sign that you're also fat adaptive and you're creeping out of those sugar related diseases type of episodes, then you can really take advantage of your day and your energy and your time, and it really can simplify your life as well. Lori from Ohio, December 2019 grad, and now in the midlife mindset course. Love doing the 20 hours of fasting, as I know now the importance it does on the inside with breaking down the bad cells. Yeah, for sure. And so once we get to that point where we burned off a lot of that backup glycogen that we have in our system, then our body can start really tapping into a lot of that autophagy and a lot of that cellular repair that we all like to take advantage of as well. And it's just the time and consistency that'll get you to the deeper levels of healing with fasting, which is why we don't want to go into this type of approach with intermittent fasting or fasting in general with that diet type of mentality. We really want to go into it with a lifestyle approach, making sure that we're incorporating this over time and consistency so that we can reap all of the benefits for sure. And then Lasu, I've water fasted a lot. I say that's fantastic as well. I think water fasting is one of those things that is definitely personality driven. There are people who totally thrive with water fasting, and then there's people like myself. I just do not enjoy that experience whatsoever. So there's lots of different ways that you can still reap the benefits of fasting without necessarily having to go days living on just water. And it all, again, depends on the why that you've established for yourself for incorporating this lifestyle as well. So I'm always fascinated with people who thrive in a water fast for sure. And then Danny, this is very timely as I still struggle sometimes with this. Yeah, you know, we all struggle with this because, you know, we just have to retrain our brain about how it is we are going to nourish ourselves or how it is we're going to go about our day. And we have food everywhere, right? So we have that stimulation everywhere. We have that mental and emotional trigger that we have to really retrain our brain with. So going several hours a day without eating is not something that we ever, you know, can take lightly or consider it to be easy. I think it is that thing that we have to be very conscious of and understand the whys that we're doing it. So the decision to exercise this lifestyle becomes something that just will eventually be something that you just do. I just consider the fact that I fast every day part of who I am as a person now. And so it's very easy for me to get myself into a fasted state and avoid feasting opportunities that don't really coincide with why it is I'm living this lifestyle. And with the scares that I had with the sugar-related diseases that I was suffering from, always getting back to that why is a pretty simple thing to do to avoid being scared again, for sure. And then Glitzy, hello from California. What do you open your fast with? I open my fast with the same thing I've opened my fast with for the past 4 years, and I make myself a shake. It's a really easy way to kind of open food back up into your digestive system. I generally eat about 2 meals a day, and it's that shake, and then I usually have dinner with my family. Lynn, hello. Keys to life. Monday through Friday, I do 23-hour fasting, but Saturday and Sunday, I break my fast around 2 and stop eating around 7. Is that okay? If it's working for you, it's okay. The beauty of how I like to teach intermittent fasting here is that you incorporate fasting into your lifestyle. You don't change your lifestyle to fast. So if that's what works for you and the lifestyle that you have on the weekends and during the week, then I say go for it for sure. If you're not happy with the results that you're getting, you might want to spend some time in a more consistent fasting window until your body resets itself, and then you have some flexibility. So it all just depends on if you're happy with the results that you're getting for sure. And then Nigel, hello. Carolyn, January course, I'm feeling great. I love it, girlfriend. You're starting week 2. So the fact that you're feeling great after week 1 always is so exciting to hear. And then Nigel, should I be taking, let's see, I don't know. That's a decision you have to make. And then Judy, November 2019, I've learned so much from you. Consistently fast 20 hours and feast for 4. Love the way I feel and my workouts are awesome. Yeah, fat adaptive workouts are absolutely the best. And it's amazing when we really do have an opportunity to reset our body and get rid of a lot of that inflammation. Workouts actually feel good again. And so I found that that was a great aha moment as well. I don't live in the chiropractor's office anymore as a runner, where in my 30s and 40s I was always in pain and always in the chiropractor's office. And now that I'm managing how my body chemistry is, I don't have those aches and pains anymore. So you'll probably notice a little bit of that as well with time and consistency. And then Lynn, what would be better foods to eat during feasting for tummy fat loss, really overall? Well, if you want to have a hormonal a body fat loss. It's really balancing out your hormones. And when I talk about hormones, I mean insulin, ghrelin, leptin, neuropeptides, all the things that are going to trigger hunger for you. And so once you really get yourself into a fat adaptive state, then you'll start to see that body fat burn off. So what you want to do is just make sure that the foods that you're eating are not adding to the sugar related diseases that you have, for sure. So you want to make sure you're reversing that insulin resistance, and that will help a lot. Susan, December 2018 grad and F3 grad. This life is awesome. IF has changed everything for me. Working now, or should I say again, or not overeating. Gonna dig deep to figure out why. Okay, so working now, or should I say on not overeating. So you're working on not overeating. So remember, when you're full and you get the sensation of fullness or the sensation of being satisfied nutritionally, and you keep eating, that is classic overeating. So figure out why it is you're eating the food. It's usually an emotional or mental decision that you're making, and not a physiological one. So it's not a need your body has if you feel satiated. It's something mental and emotional that's triggering you. So try to figure out what that trigger is, for sure. And then changing lifestyle. How long have you been fasting for, and how do you fast for longer? Any tips or tricks? I've been fasting for over 4 years now, and I fast every single day. Lori, I know, I love the fact that I don't have to plan, prep, and prepare so many meals during the day. This is another great reason I like fasting. That, it's a time saver, and it's also a money saver as well. So when you're eating only a couple times a day and you're eating nutrient-dense foods, which is usually food in its naturally occurring state, it's very cost effective as well. So I'm hoping that you are noticing that as well, Lori. And then Sandy, learning a lot about myself, considering cutting out alcohol. What benefits have you noticed? I'm very concerned about mental health and dementia. So Sandy, Michael and I just did a video on this on Friday about alcohol and fasting, and we just made the decision in September, for me it was, that alcohol wasn't, there was no pros for it for me. There was a lot of cons. And my big thing is to not be an Alzheimer's patient. I don't want that in my future. I have a long future that I have planned ahead of me, and lots of plans in that future. And I was noticing that the part that was affecting me the most with alcohol was my memory recall and just feeling on my game mentally, days even after having a cocktail or two. And so there was no real benefits for me, and so it was easy for me to give up. So you have to really consider where alcohol falls into your life and what that is doing for you. If there's no benefits to it, it's really easy to cut it out. So there are no health benefits to consuming alcohol. There's all these things about heart health and a glass of wine and all that kind of stuff, and I can give you 100 other things you could do to improve your heart health that doesn't include alcohol. So you have to go to your deep-seated why and figure out where the pros and cons lie for you, and then you just make a decision based off that and make it mental and emotional, for sure. And then Audrey, 2019 grad and still intermittent fasting, 24, dealing with some crappy skin issues due to weight loss. Does it resolve any better with time? Yes, it does. Actually, you want to make sure your skin stays very hydrated. And then you also, what we have found here in this community is longer fasts, so getting yourself into those states of autophagy. I like to do fat-aided fasts, which I teach in my midlife mindset shift course. If you're a water faster, that would help as well. So time and consistency and really getting your body into a state of ketosis, which you do not have to do following the ketogenic diet. You'll start to notice a lot of that skin start to tighten up as well. And then adding in some collagen really does help with that crepey skin also. And then Cleora, don't like black coffee or tea, kind of just have hot water with a squeeze of lemon. You can have hot water, but no squeeze of lemon. If you are truly fasting to reverse the signs of aging, and you're truly fasting to really reset some of the things you have going on with your hormones, then water with lemon has no benefit to you. I don't know what the hang up is with water and lemon, but water and lemon now makes water a meal because lemon is food. So if you're putting lemon in your water and you're happy with the results that you're getting, then maybe it's not affecting you in any way. But I don't know why everybody is so stuck on putting lemon in their water. I don't know if it's a taste thing or whatever. Move it to your feasted state for sure if it's a taste thing, and then really try to just get to plain water during your fasted state. There were studies done that show that any sort of flavor sensation, especially when your body is out of balance, can really trigger that signal to your brain that there is food incoming and will start to release insulin to break down that food. So I would say it's not worth it to put lemon in your water at all. I would just go straight water for sure. And then Nancy, been following you for a couple of months now. Think I have had great results with 1 meal a day. However, I have read that it is very important to mix this up. Thoughts? I think that if you're getting results and if 1 meal a day works for you, there's no need to mix it up. Again, that's that information that must apply to someone, but it may not apply to you. I always say life falls in when life is supposed to fall in, and that will mix up your fasting and feasting routine. Maybe it's a vacation, or maybe it's an early lunch date with a friend, or maybe it's something you're going to go do with your spouse or something. There are always life situations that will mix and match up your fasting and your feasting. But if on the norm, 1 meal a day is working for you and you thrive in that environment, you're fine. I would not switch it up if that's where you're thriving. And then Lynn, is it best to work out fasted or feasted? I say it's best to work out in any condition that makes you feel your best working out. I thrive in a fasted workout state. A lot of people don't like that feeling, or maybe when you work out is after work and you have to feast before you get to work out. So again, work out at a time and under a situation where you're more likely to get your workout in, and then go with that flow. There are so many benefits to fasted workouts, with that being said. So if you have the opportunity to work out fasted, I would definitely do that for sure, but don't let that be such a limiting factor that you don't get your workout in at all. And then Shelly, September grad, rough couple of months, but starting off the new year with prayer and fasting has me in a deep state of ketosis. I now understand the Keto Mojo numbers. 2020 will be a great year. There you go, Shelly. Yeah, for sure. Get yourself back into that state where you are experiencing the energized sense of calm, and you can get that internal peace for sure. Oftentimes, the struggle with fasting comes with the fact that we are not at peace internally, and we're fighting against a system that really works for us. So Shelly, I'm super proud of you for putting in the work. It sounds like you're finding your way, and you will have amazing results this year for sure. How did you discover 1 meal a day? How did I discover one? It's 1 meal a day. You just eat once a day. So you just fast and you eat and then you fast again. So it's super easy to incorporate 1 meal a day, especially for busy people for sure. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and cut it out. I always try to keep these to about 30 minutes. I appreciate everyone for their comments and questions that you had today. If you had questions about what fasting is, just know this: fasting is a natural state that our body thrives in. We have to create a fasting opportunity for our body because food is plentiful. So if you're going to fast, I always recommend that you take advantage of what the power of a fasting window can do for you, understanding what happens chemically for your body, and then learn how to thrive in a fasted state. And then when you open up your feasting window, really take advantage of what amazing foods we have available to us that are going to support what you just did for your body in a fasted state. For those of you who are curious, we do run an intermittent fasting for today's Aging Woman course. Our next course starts on February the 2nd, Michael, is that correct? The first Saturday of every month we run our new course. So this one will start February 1st. We would love have you in it with us. We go over all the basics of intermittent fasting and how it applies to us as today's aging women. All the information about our course can be found in the description box below. I so appreciate you guys choosing to spend some time with me this afternoon. We'll be back on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll discuss another topic about intermittent fasting and today's aging woman.